Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 14th of August 2024. Now the prices of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market, guys, is definitely not looking good. And the answer to that is pretty simple, guys. Later on today in US, the CPI numbers or the inflation numbers will be out, and notorious whales and traders, they're definitely going to try to manipulate the market, isn't it? Now at this point of time, guys, I really am not sure what the inflation numbers would be, because just a few weeks ago we had massive stock market crash, as well as the cryptocurrency market definitely went down as well, isn't it? So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, the only information to look at so far as the CPI numbers is concerned is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. But what I'm going to be doing, guys, is in the episode that I release tomorrow, I'll definitely go and touch base on what is it that is actually happening so far as the inflation is concerned. But what I'll try to do, guys, in today's episode, I'll try to give a very brief level explanation as to how the CPI numbers are calculated, and I'll definitely go ahead and give out more information regarding this tomorrow as well. Now in today's episode, guys, we have quite a lot of news regarding tokenization. Now at this point of time, guys, I really am not content with tokenization, because there are still a lot of unanswered questions so far as the regulatory aspect is concerned, and most of the tokenization, guys, that I'm seeing are connected to permission blockchain. Now look, guys, there is nothing called as permission blockchain. The other word for that is software, and as Dr. Doom or Dr. Nodal Rubini calls blockchain as glorified Excel spreadsheet, I do feel that permission blockchain is a glorified spreadsheet and it is controlled by a centralized entity. But nonetheless, guys, I have two news regarding tokenization, and Germany's largest development bank, that is KfW, they have selected Bostoker Digital, and looks like they are trying to work on tokenization, and looks like they want to issue bonds and quite a lot of other things. But I do have a lot of red flags, guys, which I'll definitely go and touch base on today's episode. Now the second news, guys, is also to do with tokenization, and DBS Bank, they have launched blockchain powered treasury tokens, so I'll definitely go ahead and give out more information regarding this. Now the next news, guys, I'm going to be talking about has to do with US Security and Exchange Commission, and they have gone ahead and charged NovaTech, and looks like NovaTech is an outright scam, and they were trying to dupe people with a lot of money. So in this case, guys, I definitely agree that the US Security and Exchange Commission have probably taken the right move. Now look, guys, ever since Bitcoin halving, a lot of news is circulating regarding Bitcoin reserves, isn't it? Now we know MicroStrategy, they have accumulated quite a lot of Bitcoin and they have put it in the balance sheet, isn't it? But look, guys, so far as Japan is concerned, the economy is not doing that great, isn't it? And can having Bitcoin in the balance sheet turn out to be fruitful? Only time will tell, I guess. But in today's episode, we do have an information from a Japanese investment firm, that is Metaplanet, and they have actually bought $3.4 million worth of Bitcoin, bringing the total to 303 Bitcoin. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this, and only time will tell, guys, if this turns out to be a positive news. Now the biggest game changer, guys, according to me, will be if one of the governments goes ahead and buy Bitcoin and puts it as a reserve. But it would only make sense if United States of America does it. But let's say, guys, if an underdeveloped country does it, I don't think it'll create quite a lot of news, isn't it? Those are my honest thoughts. So these are some news, guys, we'll cover in a Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast. And like we do in every Crypto and Coffee a Day series, we will be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now both the news, guys, are definitely positive news. And the first one is a massive partnership. And Dubai Commodities Exchange and Bybit, they've entered into an advisory partnership, and they are focusing on Web3 adoption, so definitely positive news, I guess. So in today's episode, I'll go ahead and give out more information regarding this. Now the second news, guys, has to do with artificial intelligence, and UAE's Technology Innovation Institute, also called as TII, they are revolutionizing AI language model, and they are doing that with new architecture. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base and give out more information regarding this. So quite a lot to cover, guys, in today's episode. Let's get started with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, because of the CPI numbers, a lot of whales and notorious traders, they will be trying to manipulate the market, isn't it? And because of that, the global cryptocurrency market has gone down, and it is down to $2.10 trillion. Now, the CPI numbers are extremely critical this time, guys, because based on the inflation numbers, Jerome Powell, who is the chair of Federal Reserve Board, he will be making a decision whether to keep the interest rate, reduce the interest rate, or increase the interest rate. Now, the chances of him increasing the interest rate is extremely less, isn't it? Because since the last 2 weeks, guys, the world is in an absolute chaos so far as the stock market is concerned, as well as the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is concerned, isn't it? Now, could it be possible, guys, that the left-leaning administration will try to put out a completely different narrative regarding inflation? I wouldn't be surprised if that thing happens, but what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, the only website to look at the CPI numbers, that is the Consumer Price Index, or the inflation number, is the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, and the website is www.bls.gov. Now, so far as the cryptocurrency market is concerned, guys, since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.73%. Now, what is a bit sad, guys, is the global cryptocurrency market volume is also less, which just means that since the last 24 hours, the volume of stable coins hasn't increased, isn't it? And that, to be honest, guys, is definitely not good. Now, so far as the total cryptocurrency market volume is concerned, it is only at $66.33 billion, but the volume since the last 24 hours is up by 19.13%. Now, let me quickly run through the volume of DeFi, guys, because no matter what happens in the cryptocurrency, blockchain, or AI world, the volume in DeFi is absolutely ridiculous, and it is consistent as well. Now, the volume, guys, of DeFi as of 14th of August is down to $3.20 billion, and DeFi as of today is accounting for 4.92% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, so far as the total value locked is concerned, guys, looks like it is on a downtrend, and today it is at $83.84 billion. Now, look, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if the total value locked drops down to roughly around $70 billion, because with the spot ETF, there's not much benefit for investors in buying the trades, isn't it? So these are things you need to be aware of as well. Now, so far as the dominance is concerned, Lido is still dominating with $26.14 billion. Now, decentralized to centralized exchange dominance has marginally bumped up, and today it is at 23.18%. Now, let me quickly run to the volume of decentralized exchanges, guys, because it looks like Orca seems to be having quite a lot of volume. But the number one decentralized exchange used since the last 24 hours is Uniswap. Its volume is $1.69 billion. Orca, guys, is at number second. Its volume is $709.11 million. The third one is PancakeSwap. Its volume is $651.31 million. The fourth one, guys, is Aerodrome. Its volume is $463.61 million. And finally, at number 5th is Radium, and its volume is $374.21 million. Now, let me quickly run through the volume of stable coins, guys. And unfortunately, because the prices have gone down, I was really hoping the volume of stable coins is up, because that would mean one thing, that people are parking a lot of the cryptocurrencies onto stable coins, isn't it? And just 2 weeks ago, guys, there was massive collapse in the cryptocurrency world. So keeping all these things in mind, I would have really liked to see the volume of stable coins almost 4 times of what it is, to be honest. Because right now, guys, the volume is only at $61.72 billion. And what is crazy, guys, is that stable coins as of today is accounting for 92.34% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, regarding stable coins, guys, just few days ago, I did actually go ahead and release an episode where I talked about a lot of institutional investors. They were not buying a lot of stable coins. So what I'll do later on is I'll go ahead and quickly compare the market cap of stable coins with the 24-hour trading volume. And I really am not liking these numbers, to be honest. Now, so far as the 24-hour volume is concerned, guys, Tether USDT's volume is at $49.88 billion. Circle USDC, guys, its volume is $5.77 billion. And FDUSD is at number 3rd. Its volume is $4.65 billion. Now, let me quickly run to the market cap, 24-hour trading volume, and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, look, guys, the only metric what I'd recommend you to check is the 24-hour trading volume, and then compare it with the volume of stable coins. That would give us an idea as to which direction the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are heading towards. And the key time to look at is when the CPI numbers will be out. But nonetheless, guys, what I'll do is in the episode that I'll release tomorrow, I'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. Because what I tend to do is, guys, every time the CPI numbers are out and every time Jerome Powell goes live via YouTube, giving his reasoning as to why he's decided to keep the interest rate, reduce it or increase it, I tend to look at these numbers 3 to 4 hours before the event, during the event, and 3 to 4 hours after the event. And based on my experience, guys, 3 to 4 hours after the event is when the market actually fluctuates, because mainstream media, they tend to put out their own narrative, isn't it? And that is actually what drives the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, so far as the market cap of Bitcoin is concerned, looks like it is pretty much the same as yesterday. It is at $1.18 trillion, but Ethereum's market cap, guys, is at $321 billion. Now, the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin, guys, is at $28.48 billion, whereas Ethereum is at $16.76 billion. Now, if you look at the dominance of Bitcoin, it is still high at 56.04%, but when the prices are collapsing, you don't want to see the dominance of Bitcoin to be high, isn't it? Now, so far as the dominance of Ethereum is concerned, guys, it is down to 15.20%. Now, what I want to do next, guys, is I want to compare the market cap of stable coins and then look at the 24-hour trading volume, because look, guys, Tether USDT's market cap is $116 billion, but if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, it is at $49.88 billion. Now, what does this mean, guys? It just means that roughly around $50 billion are just kept in wallets. And is inflation the reason why they're keeping it into the wallet? I really am not sure, guys, because look, the inflation is not that bad since the last 2 years. So ideally speaking, the 24-hour trading volume should have been much higher, isn't it? Now, so far as the market cap of Circle USDC is concerned, it is at a staggering $34.50 billion, But look guys, if you look at its 24-hour trading volume, it is at $5.77 billion. So the big question guys is, what happens to the remaining $29 odd billion? Let me know guys what are your thoughts regarding this and mention them in the comments below. Now the only metric that I really like is the market cap of Forge Digital USD. It is at number 5th guys, but its market cap is at $3.11 billion. But if you look at it from a 24-hour trading volume, it is at $4.65 billion, which just means that these stable coins are being used back and forth, isn't it? Those are things you need to factor as well. Now going back to number 3rd guys, MakerDAO's DAI is at number 3rd, and if you look at its market cap, it is at $5.35 billion. But here's the craziest metric guys, if you look at its 24-hour trading volume, it is only at $110 million. This is absolutely horrendous, isn't it? Which just means guys, the remainder of it is just kept into smart contracts. Now regarding MakerDAO guys, you can make an argument that they are connected to decentralized finance protocol, and keeping that thing in mind, it does make a lot of sense. Now the number 4th guys is Athena USDE, and its market cap is at $3.11 billion. But if you look at its 24-hour trading volume, it is at only $29.06 million. So look guys, when you talk about stable coins, it should be used quite a lot, isn't it? And that's one of the reasons why I do feel the volume of USDT should have been significantly higher, considering the fact we had a massive collapse in the stock market world as well as a crypto crash, isn't it? So let me know guys whether you agree to my assessment or disagree to it. Now what I want to do next guys is, I just want to quickly run through how the CPI numbers are calculated, and what I'll do is, in the episode that I'll release tomorrow, I'll definitely go ahead and give out more information. Now look guys, I keep stressing this over and over again. The only website you need to look at is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and that gives you information regarding CPI, that is Consumer Price Index, or inflation numbers. Now the big question is, how is CPI calculated? Now look guys, the Consumer Price Index or CPI numbers measures the change in prices paid by consumers for goods and services that are representing over 90% of the US population, but they do exclude certain rural residents as well as armed forces members. Now the CPI numbers guys reflect spending patterns of all urban consumers and urban wage earners and clerical workers as well. And all this information guys is actually in the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. Now so far as the prices are concerned, prices are collected monthly from 75 urban areas, 6,000 household units, and 22,000 retail establishments, and these include tax associated with purchases as well. Now they have something called as index calculation guys, and price changes are exaggerated using weighted averages, and this reflects the importance of items in consumer spending and combined to create a US city average. Now it's really important to understand guys that the CPI does actually acknowledge sampling errors as well, and it's important to note that a CPI is an estimate subject to sampling errors, with standard errors calculated and published for various time intervals to provide confidence intervals for price changes. Now so far seasonal adjustment is concerned, the CPI program produces both seasonal adjusted as well as unadjusted data, with seasonally adjusted data preferred for analyzing short-term price trends. Now regarding CPI numbers guys, extreme value or sharp movements in prices are adjusted using intervention analysis to remove distortions before calculating seasonal factors. And finally guys, seasonally adjusted data are revised annually for up to 5 years, with new seasonal factors applied for the last 5 years of data in each year. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and if you do find it extremely hard to calculate, what I'd really recommend you to do is copy that information, put it into ChatGPT-4, and ask ChatGPT-4o to give you an explanation. That is an easy way to do it, isn't it? And that's how I do it as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the CPI numbers is. And as I mentioned earlier guys, I'm pretty much sure the prices of Bitcoin on the global cryptocurrency market will definitely be reacting to that news. So what I'd really recommend you to do is make sure you follow the Bureau of Labor Statistics website and get your information from first source. Now guys, let's go ahead and talk about tokenization, because ever since Larry Fink did actually have an interview with CNBC and he talked about the benefits of tokenization, looks like everyone has become experts in tokenization, isn't it? Now the first news has to do with Germany's largest development bank, that is KfW, and they have a partnership with Börse Digital, which is a leading European infrastructure provider for cryptocurrency and digital assets, and they were the ones who were selected by Germany's largest development bank, that is KfW, as its infrastructure partner for a new blockchain-based digital bond. Now look guys, based on the announcement, what they are saying is that this collaboration marks a significant step in the digital transformation of financial sector, and what will happen is that Börse Digital will manage wallet provision and private key security during the issuance and redemption of digital bonds in compliance with the German Electrical Securities Act, that is EWPG. Now look guys, this goes back to the basics of Bitcoin, isn't it? not your keys, not your crypto. And the very second line of Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper does actually read that the main benefits are lost if a centralized entity or party is required to prevent double spending. So critical, guys, when we read news regarding tokenization working, let's say, in permission blockchain, or if a centralized entity has access to the private keys, we should definitely be dismissing it. But regarding this news, guys, this partnership highlights Bosch to God Digital's role as a fully regulated, one-stop shop in the digital asset space, further solidifying its position in the European market. And KfW, guys, is one of the largest bond issuers, is leveraging new technology as part of the European Central Bank's trial to proceed blockchain-based financial transactions, and they're doing that with central bank money. And regarding this partnership, guys, the partnership between KfW and Bosch Digital is seen as a key milestone in advancing blockchain-based securities and digital asset infrastructure in Europe. Now look, guys, I definitely am not liking this news, because when you talk about open blockchain, guys, ideally the transaction should be peer-to-peer. Now, in cases such as this and the next one that I'm going to be discussing, these are kind of more of a permission blockchain, isn't it? And one of the biggest innovation of Satoshi Nakamoto was that he was able to solve the double spending problem. Now, regarding double spending, guys, all it means is that the centralized entity can go ahead and double spend the same money twice, and by doing that, they can rewrite the ledger history. Now, in permission blockchain, double spending definitely can occur, and they can definitely go ahead and rewrite the ledger. Now, the next news, guys, I'm going to be talking about has to do with DXB Bank, and they're working on tokenization, and this clearly looks like it is working on a permission blockchain. And DBS Bank, guys, they have launched a pilot for blockchain-powered treasury token called as DBS Treasury Tokens. This is 100% permission blockchain, but they're making it compatible with Ethereum blockchain as well. Now, this initiative, guys, is in collaboration with Ant International, and they aim to enhance corporate liquidity management across multiple markets. Now, the blockchain integrates with DBS's core payment system and enhanced treasury platform called as Whale, enabling seamless intergroup liquidity management. Now, the project, guys, based on the announcement, looks like it is built on DBS's involvement in Monetary Authority of Singapore's Project Orchid and Project Guardian, and they are exploring the benefits of tokenization. Now, DBS, guys, believes that this technology will enhance efficiency and scalability in corporate liquidity management, as well as traditional banking services. Now, look, guys, I'm seeing quite a lot of news regarding tokenization, and as I mentioned earlier, guys, it is only because of Larry Fink harping about the benefits of tokenization. But look, the question is pretty simple, guys. When you talk about tokenization, it will definitely work on a centralized blockchain. It will definitely work much better, in my opinion, on a central bank digital currency. But so far as open blockchain is concerned, there is this massive question regarding regulation, because you need to do AML and KYC. How can you do it, let's say, on an open blockchain? And there are ways you can do it on an open blockchain as well. But the problem arises is when these tokens go into the secondary market, and in that secondary market, guys, can these tokens or cryptocurrencies be sold to an individual who are from sanctioned countries? This is a massive red flag, isn't it? Unfortunately, guys, I've spoken to quite a lot of regulators. Even they don't know the answer to this. So what I want to do is, guys, I do want to have a session on tokenization. And if you do want to collaborate, let's do some brainstorming and try to come up with some ideas. Now, guys, let's go ahead and discuss Bitcoin Reserve. That is by a Japanese investment firm called as Metaplanet. And Metaplanet, guys, they bought $3.4 million worth of Bitcoin, bringing their total to 303 Bitcoin, and they acquired most of them at $20 million. Now, the firm, guys, aggressively expanded the Bitcoin reserves through a stock right offering at around 1 billion yuan loan, and looks like they are mirroring MicroStrategy for using debt to accumulate Bitcoin, and they're doing that as a hedge against the yen depreciation, isn't it? And Metaplanet, guys, is positioning itself as a major player in Japan for Bitcoin exposure. Now, could it be possible some of the firms from UAE will try to do that? Most likely, yes. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, Simon Dixon, one of the OGs in the Bitcoin space, he's been talking about this since a very long time, and he was one of the first guys to actually state that it is just a matter of time when countries go ahead and buy Bitcoin and put it as a Bitcoin reserve. Now, look, guys, if President Donald Trump does actually go ahead and put Bitcoin as a reserve, I'm pretty much sure other countries will follow a similar pursuit. So only time will tell, I guess. Now, guys, let's go to discuss some news from SEC and the US Security and Exchange Commission. They have filed fraud charges against NovaTech and their promoters, and they are accusing them of running a $650 million crypto pyramid scheme that defrauded over 200,000 investors, and mostly these investors were Haitian Americans. Now, this scam project, guys, was led by founders Cynthia and Eddie Patton, and according to SEC's fraud charges, NovaTech falsely promised high returns on crypto and forex trading, but instead they used the investor funds to pay earlier ones. This is a classic scam, isn't it? Even Three Arrows Capital and Celsius tried to do something similar, isn't it? Now, so far as NovaTech is concerned, the scheme collapsed in 2023 after withdrawal delays and regulatory actions. Now, the SEC guys are seeking injunctions, disgorgements and penalties as well, and the promoter Martin Zizi has agreed to a partial settlement as well. So look, so far as cryptocurrency and blockchain is concerned, there are a plethora of scams, isn't it? And it is our responsibility to go and look at information from first source. That is pretty much I can say. And look, guys, if you do have any doubts regarding cryptocurrency or any particular project, you can always drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now, based on my experience for more than a decade in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space, 90% of the inquiries that I'm receiving most often turn out to be frauds. That is my honest opinion. So these were the news, guys, from the cryptocurrency and blockchain world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news, guys, is regarding Dubai Commodity Exchange, and they are partnered with Bybit, and they are focusing on some partnership to focus on Web3 adoption. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this, guys, because Dubai Commodity Exchange and Bybit, they have entered into an advisory partnership focused on Web3, and the partnership is effective from August 2024 through July 2025, and Bybit will transform from a key ecosystem partner to an advisory role, and the advisory role aims to categorize growth in Dubai's crypto and Web3 sectors, and Bybit guys will offer guidance to DMCC Crypto Center and its network as well, and this partnership supports Dubai's mission to advance its position in the global crypto arena. Now, the partnership, guys, includes co-organizing a blockchain hackathon and a flagship conference, and the hackathon aims to foster innovation in the Web3 development space. Now, in the past, guys, we did see 100,000 pool prize money so far as hackathon is concerned that was supporting blockchain startups, and a masterclass was also held for aspiring entrepreneurs in the cryptocurrency space. Now, there was also another event called as the Let Web3 Happen in Dubai event that focused on security and compliance. Now, Bybit, guys, also participated in a high-profile event called as Token 2049. Now, look, guys, Bybit has helped over 20 startups establish a presence in Dubai, and Helen Yu, Bybit CEO, expressed excitement about the advisory role, and Bybit, guys, is the first organization appointed to this advisory role by the MCC. Now, it's really important to note that Bybit recently announced the termination of services for French users, and this was because of regulatory development in France that did actually lead Bybit to restrict accounts to close-only mode. Now, Bybit, guys, recently also launched a MasterCard in Argentina, and they are integrating digital assets with everyday transaction, so it looks like Bybit is definitely making quite a lot of moves, isn't it? Now, regarding this news, guys, it is definitely positive news, not just for Dubai, but for the overall cryptocurrency and blockchain space, isn't it? Definitely positive news. Now, guys, let's go and discuss second news, and this is to do with artificial intelligence, and UAE Technology Innovation Institute is revolutionizing AI language model, and they are doing that with new architecture. So let me go ahead and share more information regarding this, because the UAE Technology Innovation Institute, also called as TII, they have released the Falcon Mamba 7B, which is a new large language model, and the Falcon Mamba, guys, that is 7B, is the top performing open source state space language model, also called as SSLM globally, and this is verified by Hugging Face as well. And SSLM, guys, that is state space language model, generally have a low space cost and generate long blocks of text without additional memory, and Falcon Mamba 7B outperforms traditional transformer models like Meta's Llama 3.18b and Mistral 7b as well. Now, the new model, guys, reflects Abu Dhabi's leadership in AI research and innovation, and Falcon Mamba 7b is Technology Institute initiated its fourth consecutive top-ranked AI model, and the model reinforces Abu Dhabi as a global hub for AI research and development, and Falcon Mamba 7b, guys, is the first SSLM in Falcon series, departing from the transformer-based architecture of previous models, and the model is available for open source format, contributing to TII's commitment to the AI community, and His Excellency Faisal Al-Banai highlighted the model's significance in reinforcing Abu Dhabi's global AI presence, and Falcon Mamba 7b, guys, outperforms Meta's Llama 3.18b, Llama 3.8b, and Mistral 7b on Hugging Face benchmarks, and it is the first model of Hugging Face's new tougher benchmark leaderboard, so definitely positive news, isn't it? And Dr. Najwa Araj, the CEO of TII, has emphasized the pioneering nature of Falcon Mamba 7b, and SSLM's excel at understanding complex, evolving situations like reading an entire book, isn't it? So look, guys, this is definitely a massive deal breaker in my opinion, because transformer models are efficient at remembering and processing earlier information in sequence, but they do require more competitive power, and so far as SLLMs are concerned, they have applications in estimation, forecasting, control tasks, NLPs, machine translation, text summarization, computer vision and audio processing as well, and Dr. Hakeem Aseed, the acting chief researcher at TII, has praised the collaborative ecosystem that led to Falcon Mamba 7b's development, and Falcon Mamba 7b, guys, is released under the TII Falcon License 2.0, promoting AI use. So definitely positive news. So it's great, guys, that the United Arab Emirates is making headlines so far as AI language model is concerned, isn't it? Definitely positive news. So these were the news, guys, from the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world from blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the like button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And also, guys, please feel free to go and check out my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. It is packed with loads of information in the world of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi Metaverse, tokenization, stable coins, and even artificial intelligence. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Mahesh who asks, how do you think the CPI numbers will impact the prices tomorrow? This is such a brilliant question, Mahesh, and this is something which happens pretty much every month, isn't it? Now look, so far as the CPI numbers are concerned, and the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is concerned, it works completely differently to what should actually happen. Now historically, Mahesh, whenever the CPI numbers increases or the inflation increases, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency tends to go down. Ideally speaking, this should not be the case, because Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are kind of like a hedge against inflation, isn't it? So in a theoretical world and going by the books, if the CPI numbers or inflation increases, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency should actually pump up. And the answer is pretty simple. People would not be trusting the financial world, and because of that, they would be taking out the funds from the fiat currencies and putting the funds into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, isn't it? Short and sweet, simple as that. Unfortunately, we are not there yet. Maybe in a couple of decades. Right now, Mahesh, what happens is completely different to what should happen theoretically. If the inflation actually goes up, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies tend to go down. But I'm really curious to check what happens tomorrow, because we did have a massive crash that happened on the 5th of August, isn't it? Also called as Kamala crash in the cryptocurrency world, or Black Monday in the finance world. Look, over $2.9 trillion were completely wiped off. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this is impacting the inflation numbers in US. Now with US election coming up, I really am not sure if there's some heavy manipulation so far as inflation numbers concerned, and if the inflation is actually showing a less amount, I'm pretty much sure the left-leaning regime will try to go there and say that because of them, the inflation has actually gone down. I really am not sure what is going to happen. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, Mahesh, and even for our listeners, the only website to look at is the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. And as I mentioned earlier in my episode today, I briefly explained how the inflation is calculated, isn't it? But what you can do is, Mahesh, and even to our listeners, go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, look at the inflation from the official source, and at the bottom of the page, they have given an explanation of how inflation is calculated. What I tend to do is pretty simple. I copy-paste that information, put it into ChatGPT 4.0, and I ask ChatGPT 4.0 to explain it. I would really recommend you guys to go ahead and do that, or you can go ahead and use a distributed or decentralized form of ChatGPT as well, and that is probably the best way to understand what the numbers is. But nonetheless, I do feel that the inflation might actually slow down, but I'm really curious to check what the actual numbers are, so I'll definitely go ahead and cover that in my Crypto and Coffee Day podcast tomorrow. Definitely a brilliant question. So that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, please feel free to go and check out my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. It is packed with loads of information in the world of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, stablecoins, tokenization, even artificial intelligence. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto with Coffee podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East, from the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and now artificial intelligence world as well. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.